in a shuttered French bakery. An elite group of basketball savants, coaches, and George Karl fought and toiled and burned the midnight oil to deliver the best segment in all of sports media. It's an honor and a privilege. It's time for Knicks playoff tears.
Wild, your introductions are always outstanding.
Of course.
But now you're following up Colin Cowherd, who did it last week. And I feel like the pressure got to you because you had two factors.
What did I do?
One is it was not in a French bakery. It was at a TGI
It's supposed to be like
Fridays.
a Gobert thing. That would have been good.
And the other one is George Karl would never be invited onto the committee.
Okay.
To the tiers! At the bottom of the tiers, saving a seat for LeBron. It's amazingly, the Cavs find themselves in the same spot they've been in my entire adult life.
Didn't you hear my report
Come
yesterday?
save us, LeBron. We've got no chance of winning anything without you. Please come save us, LeBron. Donovan Mitchell seemingly flirting around, not sure where he's going to end up. Jared Allen's injured. They just seem to, even if they were at full strength, be clearly a team. Of course, we all would love to see it. You know, the only person who I think wouldn't love to see it is Ms. Savannah James, who didn't look that happy courtside, like, you're not doing this to me again. This is not happening. Next, paying for Reggie's sins. Oh, wow. All this Reggie Miller myth-making, the bill has come due for the poor Indiana Pacers. Did you know that Jalen Brunson last night, for the 4th time in the last 2 weeks, met or exceeded Reggie's career playoff high? I did. I knew that. Did you know that Jalen Brunson, this playoff run, has already equaled Reggie's career playoff wins at Madison Square Garden, where Reggie owned, I was the boogeyman. I have the deed to this building because I won 6 games here once 30 years ago. And now, in honor of Reggie Miller, the Pacers are being some fake tough guys. A lot of talk, not quite as much action, not necessarily following it up. And you saw it last night when Dante DiVincenzo went up to a guy 7 inches taller than him, called him out his name, and that guy's like, can somebody help? Somebody gonna help? Off season of regret. You had him. You had him. And if you don't win these next 2 games, every single player on that team is going to look back to a moment or a sequence, and sometimes it's as thin as we're down 7, there's 30 seconds left in the first half, get a stop and a score, and it can be a 5-point game, and 30 seconds later you're down 15 points, and all of a sudden the series has tilted. I don't know what's going to happen over these next 2 games, but if they don't pull this out, it is going to be worse than had they been actually gentlemen swept, as Wilds is pretending they are being. Yeah, because it's going to be so painful. I just think it's going to be so painful.
Feels
part of the process.
One superstar and a lot of sound bites. Listen, SGA is unbelievable. And listen, the interviews after the game, they are kitschy and fun. But I must admit, I don't really believe in this team still. I think Shea is phenomenal.
Yes.
And I think Jalen Williams is way better than I thought he would be at this point of his career.
Yeah.
And Chet has had an awesome rookie season. But as far as this team's ability to get to or win a championship, the only part of the team that really seems truly championship caliber right now is Shea. Everything else feels a tick below or a little bit too young or just not quite right. Game of Thrones, not just because you could have your hand cut off and Tibbs would be like, you're giving me 44 minutes. But also because it was once so vastly overrated, it has now become a little underrated. The Knicks were this idea, MSG, the aura, come play here. It was way overrated for the last 20 years.
Yes.
But now it's a real thing. And I think because it was so overrated for so long, people are a little hesitant to come into the party. Think that Jalen Brunson's being overrated. No, he's not. That the MSG crowd's being overrated. No, it's been the best crowd in the playoffs every single game. That this team does have something special about it from a toughness perspective that no other team in the playoffs seems to have. Also, listen, the last season wasn't that bad, guys. I mean, give me a break. It was fine. Truly, S-Bob. Now, I understand narratively this should be La Bob, but nobody knows what La Bob means. So
Larry
S-Bob,
O'Brien.
yeah, I know, but Super Bowl or bust. And here's what I mean. The Celtics 100% could make the finals, and we could consider this season a massive failure.
Yes.
They could make the finals, and we all talk in early July about how they accomplished nothing.
True.
And so
Yep.
now that's not guaranteed. If they make the finals, play great, and lose a great series to Denver, no one's going to kill them for it. But I don't think they're going to get the flowers that you normally get by making the finals. But if they make the finals and get rolled, people are like, okay, well, this is the most fake finals appearance we've ever seen. You play the Heat without Jimmy, you play the Cavs without Jared Allen, and then now without
Right.
Donovan, and then whatever's left of the Knicks team when they get through all of this. Next, lurking dangerously.
Are they?
So
Holding on for dear life? Is that what?
here is what it might be counterintuitive. Game 4 made me feel like this team was more dangerous than I felt going into it. Because Luka played poorly. Kyrie no-show. They missed all their free throws. They were playing a desperate 1 seed. And it's a 1-point game with a minute left. That we are yet to see the Mavs play a great game this postseason from their so I feel like they have those mid-season additions. Really, Bruce said it yesterday. They are now an excellent defense. And so an excellent defense, if Luka gets going, makes them a wildly dangerous team. And then, of course, atop the tiers, the champ is here. Listen, I don't like it more than anybody. Trust me. But it is what it is. They've got the best player in the world, remembered he was the best player in the world after forgetting it for a few games, has played like it the last couple. Mike Malone is intimidating the refs. Jamal Murray's throwing things. Jokic is wasting time. They're a really annoying team, and they're probably going to win the title again. There we go. The tiers. Danny?
We got there.
Man, what do the Thunder have to do to get some respect, man?
Okay.
It's so interesting what you said about Game 4, how that made you feel better about the Mavs. I looked at that the exact same way for the Thunder. The Thunder played horribly. They were 6 of 17 at the rim. That's basically impossible. League average is 65%. They made a third of their shots. They were 7 of 27 from 3, well below their average. They made 22 two-pointers. Like, that shot chart is a loss 96% of the time in the NBA, and they were able to win that game on the road. They won 57 games this year. The Mavericks won 50. SGA has outplayed Luka in this series, and he certainly did in Game 4. And 2 of the next 3 are in Oklahoma City. Like, they're the favorites for a reason in this series. They're going to win the series.
Yeah. Those interviews are a little too high schooly for me. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest.
They're a young team.
A little too. It feels like they're doing TikTok routines in the locker
they're a
room.
young team.
I don't know
They're
that I
a young
believe in them.
bunch.
All right, go ahead.
Look, Boston, I hear you. All right, I haven't been incredibly impressed. I shouldn't say that, but they 15-15 at home the last 3 years in the playoffs. Inexplicable loss to a depleted Miami team. You do the same thing against Cleveland. But I got to move Boston ahead of the Mavericks. First of all, the Mavericks, as Danny said, I mean, they might not get out of this series. I think they will, but I do not. If Denver wins this series, I don't give Dallas hardly any chance of beating the Nuggets. Now, I would give them a chance. I would pick Minnesota, but I would give them a chance against Minnesota. I don't think they could beat Denver, so they're going to have a heck of a time getting to the finals. Boston, meanwhile, has the cakewalk. And look, part of me was like, here we go again in Game 4 against Cleveland. Like, no Donovan Mitchell, and it's close. But you know what? I actually think that was probably good for them because every other win in the playoffs has been a blowout. All right, they needed. Now, they're not a terrible clutch team. Jason Tatum hasn't been good in the clutch. Overall, they're okay. But I think they needed a relatively close game. And Jason has gotten it together a little bit in the last 2 games, averaging 33. So I definitely got to put Boston just because it's such a yellow brick road for them.
Well, I agree with that as far as finals probability, the Celtics should be ahead. But let me ask you this, and I don't know your answer. If this were the finals, Celtics, Mavs.
Boston, Dallas.
Who would you pick?
Well, look, with the Mavericks having come through Denver or even Minnesota, if that's the case, I might pick Denver, Dallas at that point.
But truth comes out.
But I don't think Dallas is getting.
Well,
to the
listen,
finals.
I
He asked me if they beat Denver or Minnesota.
What I really was asking, if these 2 teams played head to head, who you like more? I think the Mavericks are better than the Celtics. And so
But they don't have a better chance of getting to the finals, right?
Denver doesn't have a better chance of being in the finals than Boston. Boston's locked,
Right.
damn near locked to be in the finals. Go ahead, Wiles.
You know, LeBron sat courtside of Cavs Celtics and turned me into Aaron Rodgers. There might be several rational reasons. I'm not buying any of them. Rational reason number one from Brew. It's absolutely nothing. I'm not buying it.
What is
It's
it?
Mother's Day. That's the only reason he wanted to go. He was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
It was Mother's Day. There's nothing else. I didn't believe that. Option number two. He wants to go back to Cleveland. Does anyone really buy that? Not me.
Okay.
Option number three. He wants the Cavs to draft or take a look or just think about Bronny, who's doing really well in Chicago at the Combine. Starting to believe, but I'm going to go with the least believable thing. Are we sure LeBron wasn't on a recruiting trip? Little Donovan Mitchell. Oh, Rich Paul's there too. I know Rich Paul's from Cleveland. I get it. Cleveland area. Yeah. Maybe they're just, hey, Donovan, you can opt out of your deal. Well, no, I think he's got to.
No,
he can't opt out.
He's got a year left.
He has a year left, but then maybe the Cavs will be
You'd have to
interested
scare him.
in trading him. He might come to New York, or maybe LeBron shows up. Donovan goes to LA. Do you like that? Well, Aaron Rodgers?
So here's the problem with that. I do not think Dan Gilbert would greenlight anything that helps LeBron.
Still?
Really?
Yeah. I do
Because
not
I think they said those tickets were.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
I
maybe.
mean, it's just tickets.
He's not going to tell him, no, you can't have tickets. Go on, stop on, buddy. We're going to have a statue of you in front of the arena. I just mean, I don't
He
think,
gave him those tickets.
Maybe I'm,
We gonna
again,
sit you
this is naked speculation.
Wow, you
I
got
just
him
don't,
that
I think that
championship,
he
too.
would, right, I don't think he wants to make it easier for LeBron to win another title outside of Cleveland. So I don't think he would prefer that if they have to trade Donovan.
And what does Cleveland have the best offer? Although Donovan could demand.
The Lakers have the best offer. They have 3 first-round picks they can trade. D'Lo and Rudy.
Yeah.
Do your own research.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's just what they want in Cleveland.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.